From Manhattan, this is the New York Executive Podcast. The voices that move markets, the conversations that shape the boardroom. Live from our studios in Midtown Manhattan, here is today's program.
And welcome back. Do you ever find that you've got things you want to get done, but you're just not motivated? You just can't get it going. You can't get it in gear to get what you want done, achieve your goals. We're going to look at that today and how to overcome it. And potentially it's a battle between your will, your discipline versus the emotions and feelings that are coming up. He's well versed in that and so much more. Decades of experience as a board certified psychiatrist. And so great to have him back with us from California. Dr. Anthony Duke joins us once again on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me here again. It's great to be here.
Yeah, good to have you back here. And I believe at many times in our lives that we suffer from that lack of motivation. Even if I factor out depression causing it, just in general, you can't find I guess it's the will. You know what you want to do. You have that goal, but it's just like, I'll put it off another day. I'll procrastinate. Fundamentally, what do you think's going on there for many of us when we have that lack of motivation?
That's a great question. And I see it a lot in a lot of the patients I see, depressed patients, bipolar patients. It's about learning how to live differently. A lot of the time, I see it all the time. And I tell people, I'm not trying to make you a robot, but I'm trying to help you learn how to live differently. And living off of emotions and feelings is nice. I love Sundays. I enjoy spending time with my family. I really want to go on that ride from Magic Mountain. I get it. Feelings are wonderful, but living off of them only can be very, very dangerous because feelings come and go, and motivation is a feeling too. The desire to want to do something, that surge of that spirit, that energy to want to accomplish something, that's going to come and go. But what will always be there is one's character, one's discipline, one's motivation to want to get that thing done. And if we focus on that and always have that purpose, that mountain that we're trying to climb always before us, and realizing it's not going to be easy, but every day, that's why Nike, as corny as this sounds, Nike has a huge market on this concept. Their logo, as simple as it sounds, encapsulates everything I try to teach my patients. One of the biggest issues. Just do it. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why do you want to accomplish that? And then set a plan and push aside the feelings. I'm tired. I want to watch this episode of Suits. I want to see Meghan Markle. I just had some ice cream. I want to talk with my friends. This blanket is so cold, so warm. Put all that aside and just do it. Start moving. Get that foot off the bed. Get the clothes on. Get the shoes. Get the keys. Go do what you have to do, and make that plan. Alarms on phones are another great way too. And of course, there's that 5-second rule, which I think you know, Steve. The 5-second rule, where if you have a plan and you've set an alarm, you have 5 seconds to get it done. And if you don't, you're never going to start it. That's why that snooze button, 5 minutes, okay. But if you keep hitting that snooze, it's going to turn off. And if you keep hitting the snooze after 5 minutes, 5 seconds, you're not going to do it. And so the key is, one of the ways I always teach people is how to overcome that lack of motivation is the space shuttle imagery. So if you imagine that you're imagine you're somewhere in Cape Canaveral and there's about a space shuttle about to take off, and you're there and there's hundreds of thousands of people, and you have a chance to be part of something legendary. It's going to go to the extent of the universe to find out how we all came to be the way we are. You're seeing it. It's hot. You smell the jet fuel. You hear the countdown. 5, 4. The second you see the flames, the earth shaking, and you see that space shuttle, 6 million pounds of thrust. By the way, a car has like 15 or 30 pounds of thrust. We're talking 6 million pounds of thrust. It's taken off. It's shattering the sound barrier. The second it starts to take off in the atmosphere, you take off. Just do it. Whatever it is you wanted to do. Usually it's getting out of the bed. Usually it's going to the gym. Usually it's is tackling that huge paperwork. Usually it's like mowing the lawn or doing something that you don't really like. Just do it. And the more you make your mind control your body, mind over matter, mind over mood, those sayings, as corny as they sound, they're tried and they're true. Use your mind to use that to push yourself when you don't have the motivation. And that's how you master that will and discipline to overcome feelings and emotions, and thus balance and become like a hybrid engine. Use emotions. Emotions are great. That ability to fight off that invader in the house, trying to rob your family or rape your kids. That emotion, that surge is great, but also the will to do things whether you feel like it or not. And then you have two sources of energy, a hybrid engine, and that car will be unstoppable if that car is your life.
I'm right there with you, Doctor, with the Nike slogan. And I think about it often. I really mean that. And I try to say there's value in it because it was a marketing slogan. But in those 3 words, it really does say, just do it. Just do it. Why is it not the best to get wrapped up in emotions and feelings? Why does that go wrong many times?
They are signals. They're ways that tell us something's going on, but they're not always accurate. And if we take a deep breath, they've said that 2 deep breaths in the nose and out the mouth are one of the best ways, for example, to control emotions, like when we get insulted. Take a deep breath, let it out. Take 1 more in, let it out, and then decide, what am I going to do? Because those emotions, they're like triggers, they're buttons, which is why I mentioned at the first podcast, raising serotonin takes those buttons away. It prevents you from reacting so quickly and thus allows for less impulsivity, more stoic, meditative, like you mentioned before, being in silence and deciding, what do I want to do about this? And not being knee-jerk, but instead, what is my next most rational step forward to do something when I feel triggered, when I get my buttons pushed? And the serotonin, when it rises, protects you from that. And so it makes you a little bit more callous, a little bit more zombie-like, a little more on a cloud, which, by the way, is the major side effect that people always tell me why they stop their SSRIs, Zoloft, Celexa, Prozac, because it makes them numb. But that's how it works. It's trying to keep you from being reactive so you can be proactive. What do I choose to do that I've thought about will be the best plan for me in my life and my family and my future that I think is the best option? And then I do that. And that takes a little bit more milliseconds, a few more seconds to decide, as opposed to just doing it automatically. And that's why the more people do that and move away from just being emotionally driven, the better their lives are going to be with more future-oriented goals.
So we've identified the lack of emotion, the connection between emotions and feelings. I think I and many struggle with discipline. How can you get to a point where you can control yourself in getting things done, as opposed to just saying, yeah, I deserve to rest today. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow, whatever it might be. How do you build up that discipline?
You mentioned before, Steve, that within us, we are the universe. And in many ways, that is true. We are powerful, and we live in a perpetual present, the now. And that's all we have. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. And the past is already gone. All you have is the present. And so if we want to build something now is the time. We can't wait till later, because later is not guaranteed. The way we build that will, small things. And it's going to sound so silly. Brush your teeth. Make your bed. Go to sleep on time. Put the phone away. Charge it far away from your bed. Little things build up our choice to say, I want that. I don't want that. I will that. I do not will that. And the more we do that, and the biggest one, exercise, which I've often called is voluntary, disciplined discomfort and denial. The more people exercise, the more they voluntarily discipline themselves to be uncomfortable. Who does that, by the way? Who wants to sweat, bruise their knee, feel like crap after a workout? Who wants to get beat up in a gym? Only people who are voluntarily disciplining themselves to be uncomfortable so they can rise and get resilient and build that ability to do hard things, to do, if you will, I don't want to say anything bad word on the other show, to do tough, hard stuff. And the more they do that, the more they build their will in order to do harder things in life. Save for the 401k, get ready to take care of the spouse that's sick, build that ADU for the aging parents, take care of the child that's disabled, help out that neighbor that just had a huge tragedy and now there's orphans. Whatever it is you got to do, that tough stuff, that will to do that, the hard stuff, begins with exercise and other things where we sacrifice. Because here's a concept. Love is sacrifice. It's not just the 12-pack and the huge double D bra and the caviar and the silk sheets and the nice flowers. It's not just love, the emotion. It's love, the agape. It's sacrifice. And that ability to sacrifice starts with the will to choose what is best for the other person, even if it means our own detriment. And that means sacrifice. And that means willing willing things that we may not want for ourselves, but for other people to make them better.
The living in the moment thing, it's come up 3 times today in my circles. And that was the game changer for me, changing direction in a journey about a half dozen years ago. And somebody just, I don't know if I share this, just showed up. I believe they showed up for a reason, the message to deliver. Why don't you live in the moment? And I had no idea what they meant. They said, you live in the past, you live in the future. Took me time to figure that out. Once I did, I was like, oh, okay. And I as not to be negative, but I agree with you. The past is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not here. You can take the lessons, the memories from it carefully. The future, I don't know anybody that can tell us what's going to happen in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, 5 years with full certainty, even 5 seconds from right now. That's not guaranteed. We have no idea what's going to happen. We have reasonable belief, but we don't know. Doesn't exist. So why not live in the moment? That being said, why do so many of us reach for the phone, sit there, guilty as charged, scrolling for hours? Why do we do that as opposed to putting the phone down or not charging it next to the bed, put it in another room? How about shut off the Wi-Fi? How about put it in airplane mode, whatever? Why do we do things like that? Or some of the other things that deflect us from what our true goal is?
Distraction. Because our true goals are tough. And that ability to stay accountable to tough goals and what we want for ourselves, which we know are good for us, we'd rather not do them. And so we distract ourselves from it. And we look up to see who just killed themselves in Cambridge University. What kind of dress is that actress wearing? Or who are they dating now? Or what's going on in that state? Oh, a Democrat socialist got elected. Whatever. We distract ourselves with news that keeps our mind on something else aside from what we know is good for us. But this is tough. And that toughness, that ability to face things with courage takes a lot of will to be uncomfortable. And that, again, we got to practice that every day. Just saying no, stop, wait. That ability to be that internal parent. Freud called it the superego. Telling ourselves as an internal parent, I will do this. I'm going to stop that. I have to wait for that. And changing our direction of what we want in order to make sure we do it with the tough things. And that's why we have these little distractions, little things that pull us away from that, which, again, is the attention issue we spoke about a couple weeks back. Living in the moment, attending to the now as a way to make sure that we don't deviate from our goals.
That one's a tough one to process because it's real. You're the mirror. And I need to think about that deeper. I'm not like a super scroller, but before I go to bed, I'm like, all right, whatever. Again, I'm tired of watching TV. Rarely ever do it. So I'll just grab the phone. Let me see what's new, what's going on. I'm sure I'm distracting. Others, I know what they got going on, and they really go deep into scrolling. I know that they're distracting themselves. So question, when we adopt the notion of just do it, and we start one thing, let's say I'm going to work out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make the decision. I'm going to be at the gym at 6:30 a.m. every day, at least 4 days a week. Out of my wheelhouse, but I'm going to do it. And you start doing it. Maybe you take on something else. You say, I'm going to take care of some things that around the house that I've been putting off because it'll make me and everybody else happy. Anthony, is it like the proverbial snowball down the hill when you start doing those things and you break through the discomfort and you've achieved one thing? Now you've gone on to the next thing and you're sticking to it. You're finding that discipline. 6:30 a.m. Always working out. Careful about what you're eating. Everybody, hey, come to the party. Have a couple of beers. No, I'm not going to do it. You use discipline, and now you're seeing a little bit of success. Does, like the snowball down the hill, do more things come easier? Do you do more things once you start finding that secret of discipline?
Yes. I like what you said, Steve, because like the laws of thermodynamics, objects at rest tend to stay at rest. In the closed system, there's only so much energy. And if something is just resting, our will, our bodies, the only thing that's going to move it is our thoughts, our ability to say, I'm going to change this. And like that boulder on top of that mountain, like you're mentioning, what will take it to go off that base on the top of the mountain? Our will. We have to decide. And once we decide that, moving that pinky, opening that left eye, throwing the blankets off, sitting up, all these different things that we can do one little step at a time. The more we do it like a robot, the better we get at making sure we get the bigger steps in, and we practice strengthening that will, our ability to choose to do hard things, and it will take a new life. That habit, 6-10 weeks, will take over. And like that snowball, it's going to roll down that mountain. But it takes that first input of energy. Just do it. Use your mind to overcome the matter and push and get that boulder started. But it takes just that choice, that moment, that one moment to push it, start off, and it'll take a whole new life, and our lives can change for the good. Because it really is. The past is already gone. That door is already closed. Lament it, grieve it, beat yourself up over it. It's gone. Let it go, and you got to move forward. And the more you move forward and move forward with that courage to say, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to create something different. That's what helps that boulder roll down that mountain.
And we're not minimizing anybody's struggle or anything like that. But it's the lessons learned from the past to move forward. And also where I'm going with this, using the analogy of once you start going, scientifically, are we changing the neural pathways in our brain to make the next thing a little bit easier? In terms of the discipline, just do it. I'm going to do it. Instead of putting up the blocks for the next thing and the next thing. Does it seem to get easier once you start moving in that direction?
Yes. The more often those pathways, those axons are being used, like electrical impulses are going down them, the more we solidify those synapses and we make them easier to travel down, and we get new habits, and old pathways get forgotten and new ones are built. And it does take a few weeks, but it can have some neuroplasticity of the brain to utilize that to change our habits and change the direction of how we live, to do things automatically. And once we get into the automatic phase, that's when things get better.
Is part of it confidence? Are we building more confidence by, I did it. I've gone a month now, and just about every day I was at the gym at 6:30 a.m. That's so out of my wheelhouse. I'm not hypothetically going here. Part of it I'm not because I haven't gone to the gym in a while. I don't know what happened. I derailed. I need to find the discipline and just do it. But is it also partly confidence? Looking back and saying, yeah, I pull it off. All right. If I did that, I can do that.
The more often we write down in a journal what we do well, and we keep track of those positive successes, those wins, the more often we can reflect on them and to keep building off that. Because our ability to, I was telling a patient today, you have the ability, just like that Shakespeare quote I used earlier. What are your lines? What is your role? What are you strutting and fretting on the stage before you're gone? What do you want to do in this play, in this life of yours? You choose, you create. And if you do that, and for example, without anybody's permission, without anybody telling you, just sit up straight, just stand tall. And you're going to see as you stick your chest out and you walk with confidence, you're going to find other things happen. You'll react differently. You'll see differently. you're going to have a different vibe, and that will attract a different tribe of people, of friends and networks, and also push certain problems away. But just standing straight, standing tall, looking with confidence, and just acting the role, you're going to start to get new things. So really, again, these corny statements, fake it till you make it, same thing. The more you keep on remembering that you can be successful, you're going to start racking up successes, and that'll just take over. And again, that snowball will keep rolling down the mountain.
Easier said than done, let's be honest, but I'm with you on that. I've experienced it, even visualizations of doing it. What are your thoughts on that? Let's say your goal is to go to the gym every day, visualizing, all right, tomorrow I'm waking up, brushing my teeth, getting dressed, going to the gym, picturing yourself there, the workout. Do you think visualizations help move the needle?
Yes, and it's called centering experiences. Top salesmen, you probably know this, Steve. I think you do this a lot too. Top salesmen will remember when they were the most confident, getting that yes from their fiance when they got out that 5-carat ring, getting that PhD and walking down the graduation alley, the lane, and getting their degree, making their first million in their 401k, whatever their top success was, they center themselves on that experience and they remember, how did I feel about that? What was I like when I was like that at that moment? And they bring that experience into a foreign thing, meeting that new client, looking at a new customer, finding someone else who just walked into the car lot and wants to buy that Mercedes. You don't know them. But if you act like you just got off your high, you bring with yourself a certain vibe, a certain confidence that helps you to engage them and help with that confidence to project and win that situation over. And so that ability to do that, the visualization, what was I like when I was the most successful? Visualize that, and it can be actualized later on.
So I've heard what you're referring to, they call it the 17-second rule, but I didn't apply it to what you're saying. I've often heard that you want to just feel positive. You want to feel uplifted. Think about something that felt good when you went on vacation. It could have been 5 years ago. You went on vacation. Just remember sitting on that beach, just the peace, tranquility, no stress. Hold that feeling for 17 seconds. And you can repeat it, that feeling of positivity. I never applied it to what you're saying when you had that moment of success where, you scored that big client or whatever it might be, holding that one for 17 seconds. Why 17? I don't know. There's a little bit of science that goes into it, but I never thought to apply it to that. So thanks for bringing that up. Interesting.
I wrote down your 17-second thing. I didn't know that either.
Wow. But I never thought of doing it like, why? Yeah. If you want to feel good, think of something that made you feel good, hold it for 17 seconds, but stands to reason. Why wouldn't you do that with other things? Like when you had a success?
Because I think sometimes people are geared towards this is one off. This is not going to happen again. But
Right.
It's that faith in ourselves that it can happen again, and I should hold on to this.
Great conversation today. And then we all suffer, lack of motivation and all of that. Now you practice in California. That's where you're licensed, correct?
Yes. Metamorphic.com is the website. The number is 909-588-9275.
And I stepped on you for a second there. I do believe it's metamorphicpsych.com.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here today. Lots to think about. 3 words. Just do it. And they ring. It's so good. I know it's a marketing statement, but it really says everything. Just do it. I appreciate it. We'll talk next time. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to the New York Executive Podcast, broadcasting from Manhattan to 30,000 channels nationwide. To learn more or to bring your brand to our audience, visit nyexecpod.com. We'll see you next time.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.